Welcome back to Wookies on X-Wing. My name is Matt.
I'm John.
And today we've got round 3, game 1 of our Fredericton Gamezilla Store Championships.
So you might remember Lawrence with his 2 bandits, homing missiles, Airen Cracken with cluster missiles and Veterna Instincts, and Corran Horn with the R5P9, that's a Focus 4 shield, and fire control systems and Veterna Instincts.
Alright, and his opponent for today is Scott, who's running Leebo with Determination, Heavy Laser Cannon, Jan Ors, and the Outrider title. And his wingman is Chewbacca with the Push the Limit, Falcon title, an engine upgrade, C-3PO, and Nien Numb. So this should be interesting. A fairly durable ship versus full-on missile line.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see what kind of missiles Lawrence can pull out of his butt, because those are fairly durable ships, and they have a lot of firepower. I noticed right away that the asteroids are in a fairly peculiar setup. They're fairly spaced out, however, they're also kind of clustered up right near where Lawrence has most of his ships. I don't know if this was on purpose or not, because we didn't get to see how they deployed those asteroids, but I think that Lawrence is going to try to use that to his advantage early on.
He's got a nice lane right down the middle of the board with no asteroids.
Well, not only that, but he's actually deployed his fighters, so most of them, all the Z95, so they're pointing towards the camera, whereas Corran Horn is to go right through those asteroids and to engage on his terms.
No, it looks good. If I was to guess, it looks like he's probably going to try to slot his Zeds right through that kill lane, basically.
Well,
so
it looks like Scott doesn't have that much place to maneuver just because he's so tightly clustered up right now, and he wants to go and fight, obviously, Lawrence's force, but with the dials that he has and the asteroid placements that he has, it's going to be very difficult for him to maneuver in such a way to engage on his own terms.
Oh, it's good. I like the way that that Lawrence is flying information here. It should prove to be pretty powerful for him. So on the other hand, though, this does kind of lead to some very, not really say boring, but straightforward first couple turns.
Yeah, I mean, they're both jockeying for position. The epic game of chicken that I like so much because, chicken, tasty and delicious. But at the same time, I can't really blame Scott for flying the way that he's flying because he has a lot of internal synergy with his force. Jan Ors, handing out actions, that kind of thing, or trading actions out. Pretty impressive. And on top of that, Chewie by himself is pretty solid. The Nien Numb is not something that I'm used to seeing on a Falcon, other than Lando, for the obvious reasons. But I can definitely see its advantages here, especially with Push the Limit.
Yeah, I like it. It's if you're going to be pushing, you want to get as many green maneuvers as you can.
Absolutely. And Determination with Leebo is such a nice little combination. Obviously, it makes sense for Leebo to have Determination. Not only are you flipping up crits, but if you pull up that crit that you don't like, and it happens to be a pilot upgrade or a pilot crit, you can just discard it. Pretty awesome.
It's good.
And you never have to worry about losing that credits, that elite pilot talent itself, because it is a pilot talent.
It's a pilot crit. So like, oh, I ignore it. Sweet. So there you go. We got into turn 3 now. Looks like Lawrence is going to be swinging his bandits around.
Circling the wagons.
Decided to start pushing for the engage at this point.
Well, one funny thing that I want to mention now is that Scott, I don't know if he's compensating for anything by putting his Falcon on such an awesome peg, but he has my respect.
It's an epic base.
Yeah. Well, if you're going to put Chewie on a pedestal, Wookiees can respect that.
For sure. That's a good idea, though. I like it. Yeah. Saves some of the clutter on the board.
Well, not only that, but I mean, Leebo, the Outrider, and the Falcon, if they're base to base, they're not going to be able to fit there snugly. there's no way. So having them on a different race platform, you don't really have to worry about 3 dimensions in this game. So having that set up the way that it is fairly solid.
Looks like Scott's decided he's had enough. He's going to turn around and run into the teeth of Lawrence's force here. Which, I guess, you know, it makes sense. You could have continued to kind of circle strafe around the edge of the board, but...
Well, I'm not sure exactly what his strategy is going to be. If he's going to go and engage in the asteroids, or if he's just going to, you know, drive up and down the highway. I find that doing so, driving up and down lanes, is extremely predictable, and against an experienced opponent will ultimately lead to your downfall, because they'll be able to anticipate your actions, and even though you're using a turreted ship, such as the Millenium Falcon, being able to, just broadcasting what you're going to do is never a good idea. Unless you already have the game in the bag, which, not this early in the game, you don't.
No. So we'll see what happens. I think this is going to be the turn where we start seeing some engagements going on.
Well, Lawrence has to be careful because, yeah, he's cutting through those asteroids to get at the Falcon and Leebo, but at the same time, he doesn't want to strangle. He doesn't want to strangle. Of course, he wants to strangle. He doesn't want to straggle in.
No.
Being picked off one at a time, even though Z95s have those 2 shields, a solid round of fire from two big ships with turrets is going to take them out.
Yeah, they will. They'll definitely die from that. So it looks like Scott's just opted to putt forward and shed his stress.
Very interesting. I mean, with the Chewie there with Nien Numb, he has the option of going as fast as he wants, but at the same time, he doesn't want to venture too far away from Leebo.
No.
And by extension, Janors.
He doesn't want to do the thing that Lawrence wants him to do, which is, again, straggle in. Looks like Corran is going to try to start the skirmish off, though. Get some long-range speculative shots.
Well, Corran's in a really nice spot because if he has his focus, which Lawrence will pretty much always put a focus on him because he has R5P9, which means at the end of the combat phase, if he has a focus, he can just turn it into a shield. Meaning that, you know, if he has to use that focus on evade dice, he can. But if he didn't roll any evade dice, you know, any evades on his evade dice, and he still has that focus left over, bam, extra shield, making it very, very durable. Corran Horn.
He's also at range 3, which is a really nice spot for the E-Wing with 4 defense dice.
Absolutely.
And 3 attack power.
Yeah, and Leebo I don't think will be in range just because the base of a large ship is wide enough that, you know, he can engage one and not the other.
Yeah, it didn't look when Lawrence was measuring, it didn't look like it would touch Leebo. And here we go, getting nice fire control system triggering. Looks like he has his focus left over, so he's got some very nice insurance.
Absolutely. There's that 4 defense dice.
It looks like he's alright. Oh no, he did take a shield.
But as we see here, Leebo's out of range. He's going to spend that focus in a second. Oh, he's going to fire again.
Okay, he's there. So we got Corran's pilot ability here.
He's his target lock from his fire control systems.
Oh, free target lock.
Nice action economy.
Deciding. Yep, it's going to spend the focus. Get a shield back. So yeah, 4 defense dice. Only rolling 1 evade. Kind of unfortunate, but in the grand scheme of things, he's at a net 0 loss. So, not bad.
And here comes the Z95s. As we saw in a previous video, the sheer power of the Airen Cracken cluster missile action economy is going to be fairly impressive if he can completely unload on one of those large ships in the following turns. I don't think it's going to happen this turn, but if Scott continues to be predictable, just driving up and down these lanes, which, you know, he's not going to, he's going to start engaging. Even then, it's putting Lawrence in the green.
Yeah, and one thing, a disadvantage of having munitions on low pilot skill ships is you need that generally speaking, you need that target lock to be in place by the time the shooting phase comes around. But Lawrence gets around that with Kraken, with his high pilot skill of 10 in this case. He's got cluster missiles, so he makes 2 attacks, so there's 2 ships of yours performing free actions. So your pilot skill 2s will suddenly have that target lock when it comes to their turn to fire. Even if they, at the start of their turn, would have been out of range to shoot when they moved.
And, I mean, Lawrence can also weigh that defensively, too. If he knows that he's going to get his Z95s hammered against, say, high pilot skill fighters. Let's say a high Han Solo, for example, with pilot skill 11. And they get hammered, and they have to spend their focus, and they want that focus again for other shots, then he could use the cluster missiles there. But to get the Alpha Strike, I think, is extremely powerful.
Yeah, he generally wants to be using it to give them the target locks or give them the focus if they've already target locked themselves.
Yes, absolutely.
And it gives you some nice flexibility of being able to choose your targets in the shooting phase rather than in the movement.
The other thing that's really nice about the Z95's munitions in this case is that, yeah, he's getting the target lock, he's getting the focus so he can fire that, but the homing missiles don't need to spend their target lock to be fired. They just need a target lock. So he's getting his re-rolls and then action or dice modification with the focus after that. So the chances of you getting 4 hits, that's a very high.
Very accurate munitions there.
And 4 attack dice at range 3 is nothing to snuff at.
No. It looks like Kraken is in range. So we might be seeing those munitions go through this turn. He's shooting through an asteroid, which would be unfortunate. But
I don't think he's going for it. I think he's just taking his 2 shots, waiting for next turn.
oh yeah.
Kraken wasn't able to get a target lock,
right.
I don't believe.
Or he didn't. He chose not to. So we got some long range poke going there, trying to get some damage through. But he is going to set up for next turn.
Well, just remember that pokes in Star Wars is not like Facebook. They hurt.
Yes, they do.
And they don't mean that I love you.
Sure, you know, it's hot, lasery love.
Leave my TIE fighters alone. Leave my TIE fighters alone.
So here we go. We got Leebo opening up with a heavy laser cannon. Looks like he's gunning for Corran.
Well, this is exactly where Scott wants to be. He wants to be at the range 3 with the Donut of Doom, firing off his heavy laser cannon because he's not getting any bonus defense dice, and it's all gravy for Leebo. And Chewie is a lot more defensive rather than, you know, Han with his rerolls and all that jazz. But at the same time, he's very, very tanky. Leebo and Chewie together is a lot of damage mitigation. They have to take a lot of damage to just take him down.
Yeah.
And with Leebo, you don't even want to crit them. You want to just get regular damage.
No, it's good. So it looks like Corran came out of that remarkably well. Only lost a shield. Not bad.
Well, I think at this point, Corran's fired his he's double tapped last turn. He didn't get any shots this turn. He's probably going to spend another turn turning himself around, and in that time he can focus and get that shield back. So I don't think at the moment Corran Horn is in any danger.
So there we go. We saw one missile go out from the target locked Zed. Now Scott was able to evade one. Takes some damage onto Chewie.
Well, yeah, Airen doesn't have to fire his missiles to get those actions off.
So it's good. You got some. I love seeing use of missiles. I love it. It makes me happy. Here we go. We got the Zeds coming up. Now I like this. Getting the Bandit who's already shot his missiles. Get him into either a range 1 or just set up to jam a lane.
Well, he served his purpose, right? He doesn't need to. Do anything other than basically get up in your face. So Lawrence is playing fairly smart there. Unfortunately, the other Z95 bumped, which is a little bit, again, unfortunate.
It looks like he's got a focus on him, so he might have
they just
been able to clear it.
They just moved that focus over because of the placement of Chewie.
Clears the stress for Nien Numb. Yep.
I know it's. Oh, hey, we got the one bandit who's already shot his missiles. Got a nice range 1 shot inside of Chewie there.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's interesting. I didn't expect him to go quite that fast forward, but I guess just get up there, get Chewie in the teeth of things where he can start levering his forward.
Well, it makes sense because he can't. Lauren's the homing missiles are range 2 to 3 bandit.
Yeah.
So when he gets in range 1, he doesn't have to worry about those missiles right away. And if he can pick off that Z95 that has not fired its missiles yet, or even kill Airen Cracken, then he doesn't have to worry about this high action economy that Lawrence is putting out. He also doesn't have to worry about extra missiles because he's already dealt with them. As much as you love ordnance, that's the downside of it.
No, I can understand that.
And here we got Leebo flying up right beside Chewie and kind of barrel rolling out of the way, which I find is kind of interesting. I think he's just trying to gun for Corran Horn.
And he would have also ended up running over an asteroid next turn if he didn't.
Yeah, because he's not Kyle Katarn.
Doesn't he can't give...
Or not Kyle Katarn, sorry.
No.
Dash Rendar.
He has to care about giant rocks in space.
I care about giant rocks in space. They have some.
Well, hard to tell if Corran bumped into Leebo or not. We'll find out shortly.
Well, Corran is actually in a really good spot. The heavy laser cannon, Donut of Doom, means that Corran's not going to get fired at. I can understand why Scott barrel rolled over there, so he gets those range 3 shots, and he doesn't have to worry about the Z95s getting in his grill. But at the same time, not being able to hurt Corran Horn is kind of annoying.
Yeah, losing out on the attack opportunity. So here we go. We got Kraken taking a range 1 at Chewie.
Very, very nice.
Looks like he may be deciding to focus. Yeah, just ends up going for it.
He's trying. He's weighing to see whether or not the return fire is going to fry him.
Chewie takes a point.
And he gives an action out, as Kraken want to do. Nice little target lock going on there.
Maybe. Oh. It looks like he might end up trying to burn his homing. Debating if he's going to burn his homing missiles on Leebo.
Trying to make it difficult for Leebo, Scott to make up his mind of who he wants to fire at.
And I mean, I guess in this case it also kind of makes sense. If you have the missiles on there, you might as well get use out of them before you die.
Yes, absolutely. And 1095s aren't durable like a TIE bomber or even a Y-wing.
No, not at all.
So putting those very expensive missiles on them is a bit of a gambit.
So it looks like we've skipped over Corran, so it looks like he did bump the Outrider in after all.
Leebo shots.
Going out, looks like 1 point of damage onto a bandit.
Very lucky there.
Yeah. That could easily have been a dead Z95. And this may yet be. Ah, he's down to 1.
Very lucky on the Z95.
He lives! He lives to shoot another day. Like it.
I know you do.
Oh, here we go. Range 1. Chewie's in a bit of a rough spot right now. He is not having a good time.
Well, I mean, you look at the 2 attack dice at a Z95 compared to like that of a TIE fighter. He's not having that many 2 attack dice being thrown at him. You're not really too worried about 2 attack dice, but you have enough of them, and you have to start thinking about it. C-3PO is nice and all, but C-3PO only works against 1 shot. You have a lot of shots coming your way. You're not getting as much use out of C-3PO. You get these low low ship count lists, and C-3PO is going to work wonders.
Yeah, you start running into multiple ships shooting at you at the same time. You really have to decide which one you want to use it against. So it looks like, alright, so Lawrence saved his homing missiles for this turn. Got some very precise measuring going on. Bandit just manages to clear Chewbacca.
It looks like Lawrence knows how to fly his Z95s. You could
Definitely get that feeling. Looks like he's just gonna go for
broke.
to try to overrun onto Leebo there. So that is the one with the target lock on him. So
Yes.
he's got to be very careful where.
Well, Leebo is hard to pin down because of that barrel roll action. And he has a lot of maneuverability. The Outrider has a really, really good dial.
It does.
You don't want to underestimate it.
But a large ship natively coming with a barrel roll is impressive.
Absolutely.
It's a little less impressive after the errata that went out for large ships barrel rolling. But to be fair, that also made a heck of a lot of sense.
It needed that errata. It makes more sense.
The amount of boardroom a Falcon could clear with expert handling was terrifying.
It was the dumb.
Looks like Scott's had enough of Kraken. He's done with him. Get out my face.
I really don't blame Scott. Kraken seems to be the key to the action economy here. If Scott wants to win, he's going to have to, kick that underneath the table and do it quickly.
He does power that Z95 wing very nicely.
Well, I mean, for the most part, when you have some like a key element like this, you want to deal with it as quickly as possible. Lawrence knows this. That's why Lawrence kept him in the back. But at the same time, you have to try to deal with it as quickly as possible. If Scott just allows Lawrence to, use those cluster missiles, spend those actions, get those actions out there, it's not going to end up being a good day for the big ships.
I'd use the template. Yeah, focus.
Oh, for sure. Did I miss that, or did Leebo forget to move?
I think he moved and bumped.
Ah. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yep, so we got...
And then Corran Horn just zoomed past him.
Okay, we got Kraken firing into the back of Chewie.
Okay. 0. Take 1.
Chewie takes 2. He is almost dead. So very close.
Yes. It's tricky here with Kraken because he wants to finish off Kraken right away. But at the same time, he doesn't have very many actions going around here. And Kraken's at full health, so he needs a dedicated amount of effort to deal with him.
He is looking at a Bandit with 1 health left.
So is he going to be the opportunist and just kill the easier thing?
I think in his case it might... The Bandit also hasn't shot yet, so that might be the better option of just removing the potential shot.
We're just trying to figure out if Corran Horn has a shot against Chewbacca.
The intense measuring... Laser levels, not just for construction.
Well, I think we've raided our local area's construction store for pretty much all kinds of supplies. Toolboxes, laser guides, everything.
Definitely hit up Home Depot for a laser level. And a toolbox. Get some very strange looks walking around the street.
Yeah.
What are you carrying in there? It's not tools. Oh, this is in fact little tiny spaceships.
It's my Star Wars stuff. Leave me alone, okay?
They just got so excited measuring, we have a camera malfunction.
Yeah.
There we go.
Shifting time and space.
Sorry, I was worried about it when I moved the
I think it's a bit of an advantage to bring extra lasers to a space battle.
Yeah, for sure. If your opponent's being a cheesy fellow, you just kind of get one of those high-powered ones and go, I'm gonna melt your ship.
No,
Eat it, you phantom! Eat it!
you owe me $17 Canadian.
Killing a phantom? I think that's worth it.
I like you, Matt, but you're a douchebag.
I'm a Crix player, it happens. Alright, so it looks like we've decided that Corran Horn is in fact not in firing.
News at 11.
Now we have the... Oh, that was a terribly unfortunate Leebo shot there.
Well, yep.
And we got a Chewie shot. That's a better.
A little bit better, yeah.
Oh, he did elect to go after Kraken. And it looks like he, in fact, killed Kraken. Ballsy, but...
That a boy, Scott, that a boy.
if it's ballsy and it works, hey, whatever. So, yeah, that was unfortunate. Lawrence now has a bit more work cut out for him.
Yeah, I don't believe he got to fire off those cluster missiles.
He did not, no.
So he didn't get all of the bonus that he spent money on, or points on, I should say. But at the same time, Scott's had to divide his fire. He had to divide his forces. He's had to spend a dedicated amount of effort to just kill Kraken, and Scott's already taken a lot of damage.
He has. Leebo is largely untouched, but Chewie is almost dead.
And that's impressive, considering Chewie is usually super tank.
Looks like Lawrence going after Leebo with his other bandit. That's a good hit into him there. So, Corran is definitely in a nice position coming up, though.
Yeah, Corran doesn't need to double tap next turn, but if he has to, he can.
He's going to be able to slot in nicely in behind the Falcon. Should be able to kill it.
Well, with Corran Horn, unlike other E-Wings, you want to go for a strafing run almost every time. But with the E-Wing being as flexible as it is, you can do that.
It's a really bit of an expensive ship for only having 2 hull, but still a really fun ship to fly.
That wave was kind of interesting in its very expensive ships, but I think it added more than it took away from the meta.
Oh, for sure.
Here
we go. So Lawrence is going to trying to box Leebo in there. Control the possible locations he can end up. It's a good idea with any ship, but especially a large ship. So you have a lot more board area that you're able to focus on and deny him.
But boxing in Leebo is a good strategy.
Yeah, it's a little harder to arc dodge with a large ship.
And while the dial is extremely good on a large ship, you still have a lot of variables to take into place when trying to figure out exactly how you're going to maneuver with that large ship. You screw up and you're going to get stuck in a position for a couple of turns, then every turn you don't get actions is a turn that you can get fired at without any kind of defense. I mean, other than defense dice, of course.
Now that is a ballsy move. It looks like Scott may just be accepting that he is going to be flying through an asteroid next turn. Though it does get him out of firing arc of the other bandit behind him.
I think what Scott wants to do is he's trying to get away from the board edge. He's already flown a ship in the past on video off the board edge. He doesn't want to do it again. I can't blame him for that.
No, not at all.
But at the same time, trying to get into the middle of the board is a valid tactic. Trying to regroup with Chewbacca, another solid tactic. But yeah, Leebo's in a bad spot, and he is in not. I don't know. He has a lot of fighters circling around him. The E-wing just staying within range 1 makes it difficult to deal with it.
It does, and it looks like those Zeds around him may also be in range 1, so it doesn't look like Leebo's going to be shooting at all this turn.
Yeah, I mean, this tournament obviously is pre-Mangler Cannon, and of course the Mangler Cannon fixes a lot of these problems, but, you know, at the expense of an attack dice.
Expensive max damage, it does give you arguably more consistent
And you get
performance.
and you get a change to hit into a crit. So you potentially have more consistent brute damage.
Yeah. No, the Mangler Cannon is definitely nice for the Outrider. There you go. We got Corran picking away at Chewie's defense. Didn't look like he got anything through on the wing. But he also no longer has defense tokens. So if Lawrence wants, he can just Corran Horn ability and try to shoot Chewie off the table at the end of turn.
It's not a bad tactic, especially with you know, R2D2, or sorry, not R2D2, C3PO being there.
Yeah. And Fire Control System got Corran a target lock on Chewie.
Absolutely.
So he's not just shooting 3 versus 2.
Yeah, you want to deal with Chewie quickly because, I mean, he has an engine upgrade, so he can putter at a decent speed.
If he needs to get out of dodge, he can. And with Push the Limit, he can do it and still be evaded or focused.
So Chewie's trying to focus the Z95 rather than the E-wing, just because of the sheer damage potential. Damage potential that he can do on a Z95 makes sense. E-wing is extremely dodgy.
And that Bandit, I think that's the Bandit with only 1 health left as well. So if he gets a lucky shot into the side of it, then it's toast. So here we go. We got Corran, pilot ability. Trying to kill Chewbacca. Can he do it? Potentially. That's it. Yes.
Now Scott's in a bad place now because Leebo is completely surrounded by the vultures and he can't really fire at them.
No, Lawrence can leave his Z95s in some nice spots to deny Leebo shots. And it also, he has a turn to break Corran off, get set up, get turned around and set up for another attack run.
But I mean, like, Corran goes after Leebo, he can just keep on barrel rolling and stay on Leebo's butt, stay within that range 1 band, and doesn't even have to worry about getting fired at.
Here we go. Again, Lawrence setting up a nice little kill box, trying to essentially channel Leebo where he wants him to go.
Yeah, Lawrence is in a good place because he can keep one of his ships at any given time within the range 1 band and doesn't really have to worry. At best, he can get 2 in.
Here we go, we got the E-Wing just ripping it forward.
I have a feeling the E-Wing will probably barrel roll if he's not focusing.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go for the 3 focused defense dice.
Yeah, and then if he rolls all blanks, then he can regain a shield.
So I think at this point the smarter thing is still just trying to kill the bandits.
He can only fire at one of them,
Yeah.
and the one that he's going to fire at is through an asteroid. So at this point,
He's in a tough spot.
and the E-wing doesn't get his bonus defense dice for the heavy laser cannon.
No, he doesn't.
Corran Horn? No, I know. I'm shooting it with Chewie, so he doesn't get the 4 of 8.
Oh yeah, we'll see.
No, I don't like rolling. Yeah,
Poor droid.
With a roll like that, doesn't really matter.
No, that's unfortunate. So we got our stressed bandit in range 1. Gets a damage point through, removes a shield. There we go. We got the finally gets to shoot his homing missiles. Yeah, don't. It's lovely when you don't spend your target lock. You only get 1 initial hit. Oh, that was a good hit. 3 damage.
So those missiles finally paid off.
I didn't take the 2 damage from. Oh, okay. Yes. Okay.
So, yeah, Scott's.
Both pilots. Damage gone.
Oh, here we go. We got Leebo's pilot ability. And it looks like determination triggered there.
That must be frustrating for Lawrence. Having that really solid hit into Leebo, and Scott basically went, "Nuh-uh, I'm not having any of it."
So Leebo's down to hull now. He's going to be lost his shield. But that is... Whenever we talk about determination, we say, you know, it's only 1 point. If you're 1 point left, you can take it if you want. Because if it works, it'll pay for itself far more than just 1 point.
And with Leebo, it's paying for itself way more than just, you know, that one off time. Large ships are much more often critted than other smaller ships.
Ready for it? Yeah.
And the option to just siphon through those the damage deck,
It's a really, really powerful ability.
it's solid.
So Leebo's gonna have to be real careful with where he flies here.
I know. You know.
Having a one hard turn on a large ship is so nice.
Yeah, that Outrider is super maneuverable. I'm not even that maneuverable.
He's still in range 1 of that Bandit squadron though.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Only one of them get a shot on him, but I think he's trying to figure out if he wants to barrel roll. I don't think he can really barrel roll, but he's not sure whether or not he's within that range 1 band. I'm pretty sure he's within, but it's really close. These are one of the very difficult things to make sure you master when you're flying the Donut of Doom. If you're going to take that heavy laser cannon over the Mangler, is you got to know what 4 inches looks like. Do you know what 4 inches look like? I don't.
No. We're just gonna leave that one alone. So he did barrel roll himself. Try to get, I guess, further from the board edge.
Well, yeah, I think it's just getting out of firing arcs more than anything else.
That too. Less shots is always good. Looks like Corran's going to be able to maybe able to barrel roll himself into firing arc. It's gonna be close.
Yeah, very ballsy.
Looks like he was successful. So only 1 potential, but that is going to be at least a target lock. So that's the nice thing with fire control system, is you never really have a wasted shot.
No.
Even if you miss, well, you're still getting a target lock out of it. Good evasion from the E-wing there.
What else are we running damage?
The tension is high.
So
And Leebo takes some damage.
damage being thrown out by Z95s, and
Oh, looks like he's elected to Corran it. Just trying to close and confirm the kill here. Looks like Leebo managed to evade all of those. So, bit of a spot of luck there.
Leebo's hurting in a bad way. And I mean, with this 3K turn that Z95s have, it means that unless Leebo is doing a 3 hard turn, he's not getting anywhere. He's not getting any more damage in. Mind you, he does still have the barrel roll action. But that's the problem. The problem with the donut is if you're using the barrel roll to get, to get your attacks, then you're not focusing, you're not target locking, and you need that action economy to win games.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be able to get a shot here into the stressed headhunter,
Yes.
and he's not having Corran shoot him.
No. Corran's already shot him, so he doesn't have to worry about that this turn. But Corran's still in a really good place.
he can definitely line up for some nice, for a really nice attack run next turn. Set up and see where Leebo's going to end up. And he can defend himself fairly well.
These rebel small ships just remind me of sharks circling.
It really is. It's
or vultures flying. Something, you know, omen, memento mori.
Very ominous.
It's kind of ironic because Leebo doesn't really have any flesh on him.
No.
He's all skin and bones, or robot and bones. Robot bones. Parts.
So Lawrence's Bandit takes a poke, loses a shield, but still got 3 health, so he's now just a TIE fighter.
He wishes he was as good as a TIE fighter.
Yeah, he wishes he was maneuverable as one, I think.
I think the defense dice kind of weighs into it as well.
Yeah. Here we go. We got the other Z95 is finally no longer stressed.
It's only taken him 3 turns.
Leebo has to play the game of stay at range 2, stay at range 2.
Leave me alone!
Or range 3 ideally.
Yeah, range 3 is the best range.
But
For Leebo.
Deciding what he wants to do.
4 attack dice out, 3 defense dice in.
It's good.
It's a good place to be. I mean, Leebo still has a decent shot if he can just pick off Corran Horn.
Yeah, Leebo should be able to deal with 2 Bandit squadrons. He is hurting, but he should be able to punch through that.
You have to remember that this is still a tournament, so if he's able to just kill Corran Horn, he can go to time and probably win.
He might win on points. Yeah. So we got Corran shooting. Deciding whether he's going to focus or target lock. Looks like he's going to target lock it. And focus. Here we go.
Ooh.
Is that range 3 through an asteroid? Oh my soul, that was range 3 through an asteroid. That's rough. Good evasion. That's a very lucky Bandit squadron.
Yeah.
That was a very lucky Bandit squadron.
More range 3 shots.
Burn the evade token. That was smart, not Corran Horning that turn. That was a very smart thing to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, that's the nice thing about Corran Horn. You don't have to spend it.
No.
You know when you need to use it and, you know, weigh it to your advantage.
Lawrence is in a good spot, too. If he wants, he can just rip Corran forward to get close to Leebo.
Yes. I'm not sure exactly where Leebo's going to go. I'm not sure if I would have done that. That's really asking to get in the range 1 band next turn.
Well, we'll see what happens. This is going to depend on what Corran's doing.
Corran's getting within range 1.
This looks like
This looks like the beginning of
probably a dead Leebo.
yeah,
turn.
this is looks like the beginning of the end. I mean, Scott was playing well, but flying towards the enemy, I don't know if it was the strongest strategy at the very end here.
There's at least 1 guaranteed damage. There's 8 attack dice coming from Corran alone.
Yeah. And he can't reciprocate.
No. And no, because he cannot target him at all. That's it.
That's game.
Well, guys, as always, thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed it.
Be sure to like and subscribe this video. Also follow us on Twitter at NorthGameNet.
And we're on Facebook, Northern Gaming Network.
Or just come to our website at northerngamingnetwork.com.
So, as we've got lots more games coming up for you guys. As always, leave your thoughts in the comments below.
Take care.